We're about to dive deep into 7 life-changing habits that completely transformed my life in just 1 week. Yes, you heard that right. 1 week. I know it sounds almost too good to be true, but trust me, these aren't just the same old tips you hear everywhere. These are raw, real, and powerful habits that I personally integrated into my daily routine. I went through the struggles, the breakthroughs, and the victories, and the transformation I experienced was nothing short of extraordinary. I can't wait to share these with you because they've had such a profound impact on my life, and I truly believe they can do the same for you. Whether you're looking to boost your productivity, improve your mental health, or simply make a positive shift in your daily life, these habits can get you there. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right in. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end because these habits aren't just theoretical. They're practical, actionable steps that you can start implementing today. Plus, I'll be sharing personal stories and insights from my own journey, giving you an honest, inside look at how these habits worked for me. Habit number 1, waking up early. The first habit that changed everything for me was waking up early. And let me be completely honest, I was never a morning person. My bed was my best friend, and I used to hit the snooze button more times than I could count. Mornings were always a chaotic rush, and I constantly felt like I was starting my day on the wrong foot. But I decided to give waking up early a shot, and let me tell you, it was an absolute game changer. I started by setting my alarm for 5 a.m. The first few days, brutal. I dragged myself out of bed, feeling groggy and questioning whether this was even worth it. But by day 3, something incredible started happening. I began to appreciate the quiet and stillness of the early morning hours. There was something almost magical about being awake before the rest of the world, when everything was calm, peaceful, and full of possibility. With these extra hours in the morning, I finally found time for things I'd never been able to fit into my day before. I started with a light workout, nothing intense, just some stretching or a short jog. And the result? It didn't just wake me up, it energized me for the rest of the day. I also carved out time for meditation and setting my intentions for the day. These few moments of mindfulness made a huge difference in my overall mindset and productivity. And perhaps the most surprising benefit? No more morning chaos. I finally had enough time to enjoy a healthy breakfast, sip my coffee slowly, and plan out my day without feeling rushed. This calm, structured start set the tone for everything that followed. One moment that truly stood out to me was the morning I watched the sunrise from my balcony. It was a simple yet profoundly beautiful experience. Watching the sky shift through shades of gold and pink, feeling the world wake up around me. Here's the enhanced and more engaging version of your text. And as the world slowly woke up, I felt a deep sense of gratitude and peace. In that quiet moment, I truly understood the power of waking up early. Now I know waking up early isn't for everyone, but I challenge you to give it a try, even if it's just for a week. Start by setting your alarm 15 minutes earlier than usual and gradually increase it. You might be surprised at how much of a positive impact it can have on your life, because it's not just about having more time. It's about using those extra hours to create a more mindful, intentional, and fulfilling start to your day. Habit number 2, daily exercise. Speaking of energy boosts, Daily exercise was the second habit that completely transformed my life. But let me be upfront. I wasn't always the most active person. In fact, I used to come up with every excuse in the book to avoid working out. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow. Sound familiar? One day, I decided enough was enough. I made a commitment to move my body every single day for a week, and the results? Nothing short of incredible. I started small, just 20 minutes a day, alternating between yoga, jogging, and strength training. I wanted to keep it interesting so I wouldn't get bored and quit halfway through. The first few days, brutal. My muscles were sore, I felt exhausted, and I kept questioning why I was doing this. But by day 4, something amazing happened. I woke up feeling energized. My mood drastically improved. I was less irritable. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a natural sense of positivity and motivation. I realized that those 20 minutes of exercise weren't just about burning calories or building muscle. They were about prioritizing myself, releasing stress, boosting my endorphins. One morning, I laced up my sneakers and went for a jog. It was a crisp, clear day, and as I ran, I felt an incredible sense of freedom and clarity. It was just me, the open road, and my thoughts. And in that moment, I felt more connected to myself than ever before. I also noticed physical changes. My posture improved, I felt stronger, and my overall fitness level increased. But the biggest change was in my mindset. Exercise stopped feeling like a chore and became my daily escape, a time to disconnect from the world and reconnect with myself. One of my personal highlights, trying yoga for the first time. At first, I was hesitant. I thought, I'm not flexible enough. This won't be a real workout. But after a few sessions, I fell in love with it. Yoga taught me to be present, breathe deeply, and listen to my body. It became so much more than just a physical practice. It was a mental reset. Incorporating daily movement into my routine made me realize something powerful. Taking care of my body directly impacted my mindset and happiness. It's not about being perfect. It's not about pushing yourself to extremes. It's about finding a form of movement that you enjoy and making it a regular part of your life. So, if you're struggling to get started, my advice, start small. Find something you love, whether it's dancing, hiking, or just a brisk walk. Commit to just a few minutes a day and build up from there. Trust me, this habit has the power to change not just your body, but your entire outlook on life. Habit number 3, journaling. Now, let's talk about the third habit, journaling. I used to think journaling was for people who had loads of free time or were naturally introspective. Honestly, I was skeptical. Who has time to sit down and write about their day when there's so much going on? But let me tell you, 1 week of consistent journaling completely changed my perspective. It became the cornerstone of my personal growth journey. I kept it simple. Every night before bed, I dedicated just 10 minutes to journaling. I bought a plain notebook and a pen that felt comfortable in my hand. No fancy apps, no pressure to make it look pretty, just me and my thoughts. The first night, I stared at the blank page, completely unsure of what to write. I began with something simple, writing about how my day went, what made me happy, and what I struggled with. But as the days went by, I started to dig deeper. I wrote about my goals, fears, dreams, and even insecurities. It felt like I was having a raw, honest conversation with myself, and that's when the magic happened. I started noticing patterns in my thoughts and behaviors. I realized that some of the things I worried about were completely out of my control, while others were areas where I could take real, actionable steps. One night, after a particularly stressful day at work, I sat down and poured my thoughts onto paper. I wrote about what exactly stressed me out, how it made me feel, what I could do differently next time. That simple act of reflection helped me gain clarity and feel more in control of my emotions. Another powerful aspect of journaling, tracking progress. I started documenting small victories and milestones, no matter how minor they seemed. Looking back at those entries filled me with a sense of accomplishment and motivated me to keep pushing forward. For instance, I once wrote about a presentation I was incredibly nervous about. I detailed how I prepared for it, how I felt before stepping up, and how it ultimately went well. Seeing my effort and growth documented in my journal was incredibly encouraging. I also started a gratitude section in my journal. Every day, I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. This simple habit shifted my focus from what was lacking in my life to appreciating what I already had. It was a subtle yet powerful shift that brought so much more positivity into my daily routine. One particularly memorable entry, I wrote about a random act of kindness, a stranger helping me carry my grocery bags when I was struggling. Writing about that moment not only made me feel grateful, but also inspired me to pay it forward. Through journaling, I discovered so much about myself, my desires, fears, strengths, and weaknesses. It became a form of therapy, a way to untangle the complex web of thoughts and emotions we all carry around. It provided a safe space where I could be completely honest with myself without fear of judgment. If you've never tried journaling, I highly encourage you to start. Don't worry about writing perfectly or having profound thoughts. Just write whatever comes to mind, whether it's a stream of consciousness, a recap of your day, or reflections on a specific event. Give yourself the freedom to express whatever you're feeling. You might be surprised at how much clarity and peace it brings into your life, because it's not about what you write. It's about the process of writing itself. Habit number 4, mindful eating. Next up, mindful eating. This was a big one for me because, like many people, I used to eat on the go, barely paying attention to what or how much I was consuming. My meals were often rushed and distracted affairs, eaten while scrolling through my phone, working on my laptop, watching TV. I didn't realize how much this was affecting my overall well-being until I decided to give mindful eating a try for 1 week. So, what exactly is mindful eating? It's about paying full attention to the experience of eating, both inside and outside the body. It's about savoring each bite, noticing the flavors, textures, and even the sounds of your food. So, I made a commitment to eat all my meals mindfully. I started by setting the scene for my meals, clearing my dining table, setting a nice place for myself, removing all distractions, no phone, no TV, no laptop. At first, it felt strange to just sit there with my food in silence. But soon, it became a calming ritual. Before each meal, I took a few deep breaths to center myself and bring my focus to the present moment. And that's when I started to notice something powerful. One of the biggest surprises from this journey, just how much more I enjoyed my food when I took the time to truly taste and appreciate each bite. Foods I had eaten hundreds of times before suddenly had new, delightful flavors and textures that I had never really noticed. For example, the crunch of fresh vegetables, the sweetness of ripe fruit, the warm, comforting aroma of freshly baked bread. It was like experiencing food in high definition. But the biggest change, feeling satisfied after meals. By eating slowly and mindfully, I gave my body time to signal when it was full. This was a major shift for me because I used to eat quickly and often ended up overeating. By simply paying attention to my hunger and fullness cues, I found that I naturally ate less, enjoyed my meals more, felt satisfied, not stuffed. One of the most memorable experiences was with something as simple as a bowl of oatmeal. Normally, I'd wolf it down without a second thought. But this time, I took it slow, savoring the creamy texture and the subtle sweetness of the honey I drizzled on top. It became a small, peaceful moment of gratitude and mindfulness that set a positive tone for the rest of my day. A new awareness about food. Another huge realization was how different foods made me feel. Fresh, whole foods left me feeling energized and light. Processed, heavy foods left me feeling sluggish and bloated. I started making healthier choices naturally without feeling restricted because I was listening to my body rather than following rigid rules. But mindful eating isn't just about what we eat. It's also about why we eat. I started recognizing when I was eating out of boredom, stress, emotional comfort, rather than true hunger. Instead of mindlessly snacking, I took a moment to check in with myself. Did I actually need food, or was I craving a break, relaxation, or connection? One evening, after a long day, I had a strong craving for something sweet after dinner, but instead of automatically reaching for dessert, I paused. Was I actually hungry? Or was I just seeking a reward for getting through the day? I realized I wasn't truly hungry, so instead of eating out of habit, I made a warm cup of herbal tea instead. It was a small victory, but one that showed me just how powerful mindful eating can be. How to try mindful eating. If you're curious about mindful eating, start small. Pick one meal a day to eat without distractions. Take a few deep breaths before you start. Focus on the flavors, textures, and how the food makes you feel. You might be shocked at how this simple practice can change your entire relationship with food. It's a beautiful way to reconnect with your body and appreciate the nourishment that food provides. Habit number 5, limiting screen time. Now, this was a tough habit to change. Because let's be real, we live in a digital world, and it's way too easy to get sucked into. Endless scrolling through social media, binge watching shows, checking emails at all hours, but I started noticing something. All this screen time was affecting my mental health, constant comparison, overwhelm, productivity, hours lost without realizing it, sleep, blue light, restless nights. So, I decided to set boundaries and see what happened. The first step, setting a daily limit. I set a strict limit, 1 hour per day for non-work-related screen time. This meant no mindless scrolling through Instagram, no endless YouTube marathons, no late-night TV binges. At first, it was tough. I had become so accustomed to filling every spare moment with screen time. But I knew I needed a change. The surprising benefits, more time in my day. I didn't realize how much of my time was being eaten up by screens until I consciously limited it. With those extra hours, I picked up a book I had been meaning to read, started doodling and drawing again, tried cooking new recipes. One evening, instead of watching TV after dinner, I took a walk in the park, the fresh air, the sounds of nature, the simple act of moving my body. It felt incredibly rejuvenating, a stark contrast to the usual screen-induced lethargy I used to feel. That walk became a cherished part of my routine, something I looked forward to every day. Better sleep. I used to scroll through my phone before bed, watching videos until I felt sleepy. But this habit left me feeling wired and restless, unable to fall asleep easily, tired the next morning. By limiting screen time, especially before bed, I found it much easier to wind down. Instead of screens, my bedtime routine now includes reading a physical book, meditating, reflecting on my day. The result: deeper, more restful sleep, more energy in the morning, improved mental health, without the constant barrage of notifications, social media comparisons, and digital distractions I felt. Less anxious, more present, more engaged in real life. One of the most memorable moments was an afternoon spent at a local cafe with just a notebook and a pen. I wrote down my thoughts, planned goals, and even sketched a little. It was such a peaceful, productive time, free from digital interruptions. I felt more connected to myself and my surroundings than I had in a long time. How to try limiting screen time. Start small, maybe 1 hour less per day. Use that extra time to reconnect with yourself, spend time with loved ones, engage with the real world. You might be shocked at how much richer and more fulfilling life can be when you step away from screens. Final thoughts. The 7 life-changing habits that wraps up our journey through the 7 habits that dramatically transform my life in just 1 week. Each of these habits has the power to create significant positive changes in your life. If they worked for me, they can work for anyone. Feeling inspired? Try 1 habit at a time. Start small and see how it feels. Adjust as needed to fit your lifestyle. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional and making small, positive changes that lead to a happier, more fulfilling life. Which habit are you excited to try first? Let me know in the comments. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. It's about making small, manageable changes that, over time, lead to incredible transformations. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share. Which habit are you thinking of adopting? Do you have any questions about getting started? Your feedback and stories are what make this community so amazing and supportive. Stay connected and keep growing. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more insights and tips. Hit the notification bell so you never miss new content. We have so much more coming your way that you won't want to miss. Share this video with friends or family who might benefit. Sometimes one small change can make a huge difference in someone's life. Let's keep evolving together. Thank you so much for watching. Small changes lead to big results. So let's keep growing, keep evolving. Turn everyday routines into powerful moments of self-improvement. See you in the next video. Stay awesome, everyone. Sparkles flex.